Carson, I don't know how often you go up against Caden because he's an end and you're a center, but what are your impressions of him as a defensive lineman?
Yeah, I mean, he's insane. You know, at CC, I mean, well, I got to go against him a little bit kind of this past week and some stuff, and man, it's tough. You know, I'm used to kind of like the big guys like K-Mac and stuff like that. I mean, when you get a true edge in there who, like, gets off the ball like before you do, it's like, I mean, it's crazy. It's tough.
We did see him, like, he got lined up over the center against Ohio,
and
he was giving that guy some.
No, he's taking your lunch if you're not careful. Like he's really good. Yeah, he's really good.
Carson, this is a team. You guys have faced a great defensive line in Texas. This one can get pressure without doing a whole lot of blitzing.
Yeah.
What sort of challenge is that for you guys up front?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's going to be a challenge of one-on-one blocks. I mean, I think, you know, what they've put on film, you know, they run a lot of 5 down front, but obviously that's not something we're too unfamiliar of. You know, I know that's kind of like off the tree of, you know, kind of Coach Patricia, like them in Iowa or them in Illinois, and obviously the coach from Purdue last year, so we're obviously studying a lot of that film as well. But a lot of one-on-one block opportunities, which is great, you know, obviously because we've had a lot of experience in it, but also because it's going to be a great challenge for us and what we want to do this year. We're going to need to be really dominant in that aspect.
Brian, so you can start playing passively if you have to go to the silent count, and that can't happen obviously on Saturday. I guess, how do you guard against that, and what's your role in making sure that doesn't happen when you guys probably whenever they have to go silent?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just communication, you know, poison the noise, and for us, like, obviously it's going to be a really, you know, great atmosphere. You know, you hear all the stories. Obviously they're 22 at home right now, so it's going to be a really you know, a really big challenge. But then again, you know, we've had a lot of experience in playing in you know, high pressure situations and high noise situations. We got a lot of veterans on our own line. Not only that, but we've had, you know, almost 2 weeks now of been able to you know, kind of iron some of those things out. And so the ability to kind of like trust and communicate that us and the quarterbacks are on the same page and everyone else is you know, focusing on if we're going on silent or what the communication on the on the count is. I think we're set up for it.
How did those games a couple of years ago help you in that situation? Penn State last year that you were left guard, and Notre Dame in 23, Michigan in 23. How did those kind of environments maybe help you for this? What's coming on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of like helps you not get rattled. You know what I mean? And for you know, for some guys, when it's your first time in one of those loud environments, you know, it's difficult. I mean, you lose one of your senses. I mean, people literally don't realize, like, I could be from me to you and I can't hear anything. You know what I mean? And so that's difficult. And then not only that, like with a team who's obviously, you know, has a great defensive front, it can be difficult at times. But being able to, like you said, you know, playing a couple of those games and have that experience, but not only me have that experience, but the other guys on the line have that experience as well. It kind of builds a good trust connection that we're like, all right, we got this.
How do you help Julian? Obviously, this will be the first time he's done that. How do you envision? Obviously, he has to handle it himself, but how do you help a quarterback who's going to do that the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, you know, it all comes down to trust. I mean, I try to, you know, be as consistent as I can so that he can trust me. I think it comes, I mean, honestly, it just really comes down to consistency, making sure we're on the same page, making sure I'm getting the ball to him when he wants it. And that, you know, he has trust that we're going to get our job done. We're going to protect him because, like I said, a lot of one-on-one blocks, so we're going to have to win our matchups and stuff like that this week, which is going to be, you know, a great challenge for us. We're really super excited for it.
Hey, what do you tell your fellow linemen about keeping your cool in those kind of situations, Carson?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Penn State was an example, but what do y'all talk about, I guess, in between snaps or in between possessions about, you know how loud it's going to be, just keep it cool?
Yeah, I mean, well, a great thing, you know, we've done is like, you know, we prep for it in practice and stuff like that with the noise. But not only that, like, you know, we kind of have that, like, it's, you know, it's us versus them mentality. I mean, our unit, you know, versus the world and kind of things, stuff like that. And so, you know, we have a great culture in the offensive line room where we can trust each other and that we know that regardless of the situation, regardless of who's in front of us, like, we can get that job done. And so to have that trust in between us, I think is important in those high pressure situations.
Can you actually, don't think I'm being funny, I'm
You're good.
auto racing. Can you actually feel the noise sometimes?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What does it feel like?
I mean, I don't know if you ever stood in front of a speaker or something like that. I mean, you guys recall, you guys went out. I mean, if you're a little too close to the speaker when you're outside, you're kind of like, ooh, it's a little uncomfortable. Or you ever go to a concert, you know, stuff like that, and it's, you know, you can feel it in your chest. And but when you're on the field, you know, obviously, we always say you sink the level of your training. You know, it's kind of like the Navy SEALs talk. Coach Day talks about that a lot. When you sink the level of your training, you know, it's almost you're not even thinking about it. You don't really feel that. You get to the point where you don't even hear it. I mean, obviously you can't hear anything, but you kind of just tune all that out.
Carson, you're one of the few members of your recruiting class left.
Mhm.
Most you guys had to wait your turn. I mean, you got obviously a couple of years ago. Both you guys had to wait. I mean,
Yeah.
Caden and Kenyatta. Was there extra motivation? You guys talk about it in the off season, like, hey, this is our chance. We're finally seniors. We had to wait longer than we thought we were going to do it. We got to take advantage of this.
Yeah, I mean, we had to prove something to that 2021 class. Holy crap, those guys were ridiculous. No, but yeah, I mean, we have a lot of guys in our class yet here who are really excited to go play, and really excited to kind of prove, that we've obviously been waiting our turn and been working really hard and putting a lot of, effort and commitment into our game and into our craft. So, like I said, like talking to KJ and CC and, and CJ and all those defensive guys, but not even them, like the guys on our side of the ball, like we're just excited to go play, honestly, at this point.
How hard was it to kind of have to wait? And your whole class was like that. I mean, Sonny was the only one that really started. He wasn't supposed to be in your class.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, the youngling. But he, he's been great. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult. But like in the Bible, Jeremiah 29:11, the plan the Lord has for you, and we write that up on our board every time before we go play a game. And so like just being able to trust the process, like trusting that, we'll play when it's our time, and then when it's our time, we got to go and put it on the field. So just waiting our turn and perfecting our craft has been probably the most important thing.
Do you feel that you guys are doing that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a ton of football left. Nothing's obviously set in stone, so we have a lot of games to play, a lot of experience to grow. I mean, a lot of growth that needs to happen before we get into those later games in the season. But it's a journey, and we're doing it together. So I think we're, everything we've been doing so far, we're definitely proud of. So being able to, continue that and compound that throughout the later games is gonna be really important.
How much does Julian feel like the leader of this offense now than maybe 3 games ago?
Yeah, he's been a lot better. I mean, with his.
Yeah, give me an example. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like his vocality and stuff like that. I mean, I know like the Texas game, I went out there and I'm like, it's kind of like saying a couple words, whatever for the guys. I'm like, all right, Jules, what you got? He's like, I don't know. but like now, I mean, he's getting in the circles, he's getting fired up. He's definitely come out of his, his shell a little bit more. And so, I mean, obviously he's a gunslinger. He's, he can play. Obviously, we have trust in what he does, and just for him to trust us and trust the rest of the team to, protect him and get his job done, make his life easier, I think is important. And I think we're being able to do that.
I don't mean to lead you down this path, but is he been a little better than you thought he would be? How would you rate that?
I expect him to be the best. And I mean, he's done exactly what my expectation is. I mean, he's a gunslinger. He goes up there and he might be a young guy, but he definitely commands, a lot, and he commands the offense really well.
The fact that Julian always seems to be the same, really even keeled, does that bode well for him in situations like this, where because he's not going to get too high or too low, he's going to be the same thing, whether things are going well or maybe something didn't go well? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think that's a sign of maturity. You know what I mean? I mean, for someone to go out there and, not get shell shocked, but also, not get too high on himself if a play, really goes well or really doesn't. So, I mean, I think for a young guy to have that level of maturity is really cool to see, especially in a high pressure environment like we're going to be in, this Saturday.
When you have a young quarterback, how important can a veteran center be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important, but it's pretty cool to have a veteran center. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it just comes down to trust between me and him, and that he knows that I'm gonna get the guys on the same page of what he wants to do. Because at the end of the day, his word trumps all. If we're gonna be wrong, we're gonna be wrong together, and hopefully that makes us right. So just being able to, trust him and have him trust that we're gonna keep him safe is, all that matters.
Carson, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.